Hello and welcome to the Channel 1 newsroom, live from our studios at number 5 Oula Hansen Lane at Tesano. I am Inusafo. Coming up. Concerns rise in Ashanti region as unresolved murder cases leave families in anguish.
Asam ne musa chede so 20th year na 2 years. Say aye konebra. You see the ye diare say ye patent training. So we say ya buru nya bebre. Nya ya buru ne be yadwuma. What you say?
Concerns grow as key streets in Accra remain in darkness after 50-day streetlight repair pledge by Greater Accra Minister.
Light be an yadwuma. Oh, light be an yadwuma. Titi say ya ye namu moto we so krana. Dey my if we would have high Swiss here. Light be an shada yede. Wo ho boy.
Also coming up, Greater Accra Regional Coordinating Council in talks with National Security to deploy patrol teams to Ramsar sites.
I asked myself, why should we sit? I mean, this building wasn't built in an hour. It wasn't built in an hour, so it took number of years and others even months to build. In the interim, we've tasked the Assembly to give us a task force that will be monitoring the place 24 hours. We are also going to write to National Security to also give us some men to be, to come and help us to, protect the place until further notice.
And later, Inspector General of Police leads high-level security assessment in Boko following violent confrontation. In Channel 1 Business. Business disrupted in Kantamanto as used clothing dealers protest alleged misinformation by OR Foundation. And in Channel 1 Sports. Ghana, Jamaica, Nigeria and Trinidad and Tobago to compete in Unity Cup 2025 at GTech Community Stadium in Brentford. Many thanks for joining us this hour. Let's settle for the details of our stories. Concerns are deepening in the Ashanti region as an alarming number of murder cases remain unresolved, leaving grieving families in emotional turmoil and raising pressing questions about justice and public safety. In 2025 alone, several new high-profile incidents have only added to frustrations over delayed investigations and stalled court proceedings. Ashanti Regional Correspondent Brighty Abua has more in the special report.
The search for justice in the Ashanti region continues to stretch in months, sometimes years, for many families devastated by murder cases that remain unresolved. One such case is the mysterious disappearance of Rodeline Amoadaku, a land administration officer with the Lands Commission in Kumasi. On September 7, 2021, the Ghana Police Service began investigations after she went missing. Unconfirmed reports said she was last seen leaving her office with a colleague. Her husband, Dr. Wilberforce Agri, a lecturer at KNUST, told police she was to travel to Sunyani on August 29, but she never arrived. Rodeline, a mother of two, last appeared publicly on Insura FM just 2 days before her disappearance, discussing land issues. Dr. Agri was later charged with kidnapping and deceit of a public officer. Although he was granted bail in November 2023, the case has since seen minimal progress. Court sources say it was quietly moved from Justice Opoku-Aduse's court to Justice Tete's court, allegedly at the request of the accused. The family has since placed a 100,000 Ghana cedis bounty for any information leading to her whereabouts. On April 20, 2023, the Ashanti capital was shaken when a 26-year-old Majua was gunned down in Edum. The prime suspect, Inspector Ahmed Chumesi, popularly known as Tycoon, was arrested days later after going into hiding. The two were reportedly in a romantic relationship. But nearly 2 years on, her family says they are still waiting for closure.
Na on say asem ne musa achede say 20th year na 2 years. Say aye konebra aja media madarumenti. Ma asem ne agentre ha kwachi. Nti be se be bosumi be miensani na ehun se asem no edu ne pempon so a awosenki ebua.
Nana Berima, a corner penning and uncle of Majua, says the family will not rest until the law takes its full course.
Do be na mekasa. Say ni friend ni kasa ono bako a anaboto boaboa. Ya ma yemfa no trasa. Ni be haye kwan ho. Nti kwan ho de anase baby hotro no yeni agro ho. Nti say obi say o atwen ya mfie mienu a yen twen when we get to the bridge we will know how to cross. Oh, bridge no nyenu so onso se mduru ha metwa ne say yenu ho ebi ana bridge ko ayesu tia bi anase su kese. Nti duru ho a yebehunu you say ye diare say ye patent ne. So onso ya buru nya bebre. Nnua ya buru ne be yadwuma. What you say?
On January 19, 2025, Obuasi, a major mining town, became a conflict zone when armed military personnel clashed with youth allegedly engaged in small-scale mining on AngloGold Ashanti property. 8 miners reportedly lost their lives. Although President Mahama called for a probe, no arrests have been made and no report has been released. Another shock came on April 1, 2025, when the lifeless body of a 48-year-old Nana Osei Bonsu, the Chidomhene of Borfuyedru, was found. 4 suspects have been arrested, but the case remains under investigation. Also alarming are the targeted killings of mobile money vendors. In just the first 3 months of 2025, 4 vendors were murdered across the region. 5 suspects have been remanded, but the fear among the public remains.
We are working, but we are fear to work. Even we are praying that some people should come in. When the person comes, you are either afraid that the person may be attacking you or so.
While some arrests have been made, many families say justice is moving at a snail's pace. When Channel 1 News reached out to the Ashanti Regional Police PRO, the office revealed it had yet to retrieve case dockets for several incidents. A recent internal directive restricting police media interactions was cited as part of the challenge in providing public updates. But with each passing day, public confidence in the justice system continues to erode. Until there is a meaningful progress in justice delivery, the question still remains: how many more families are left waiting for justice to prevail? For Channel 1 News, I am Bright Teboa.
The Savannah Regional Police Command has arrested a suspect in connection with the robbery and murder of a mobile money vendor and 1 other individual at Pualugu in the Upper East Region. The suspect, Nuhu Mumuni, who had been on the Upper East Regional Police's wanted list, was apprehended at his hideout in Mankarigu by the Savannah Regional Operations Team. He is alleged to have been part of a gang that shot and killed Benjamin Apuri, a mobile money vendor, on March 3 before fleeing with an unspecified amount of cash. Nuhu Mumuni is currently in police custody in the Savannah region and will be transferred to the Upper East Regional Police Command for further investigation and prosecution. The Savannah Regional Police Commander, COP Samuel Alfred Winfall, spoke to Channel 1 News on this development.
The Regional Police Command, through an intelligence-led operation, has arrested 1 person in connection with the robbery and murder of a mobile vendor and 1 other person at Pualugu in the Upper East region. The suspect, Nuhu Mumuni, who was on the wanted list of the Upper East Regional Police, was arrested on the 8th of April 2025 at his hideout at Mankrabu in the Savannah region by the regional operations team. The suspect, together with other accomplices, on 3rd March 2025, shot to death Benjamin Apuri, a mobile money vendor at Kwalugu, and made away with an unspecified amount of money. The suspect is currently in the custody of Savannah Regional Police Command and will be handed over to the Upper East Region Police Command to face justice.
The family of 16-year-old Susie Ajoapanamang, a student of the Seventh-day Adventist Senior High School in the Ashanti region, is making a desperate appeal for financial support. Susie was accidentally shot in the eye in a shocking incident on campus and now faces the risk of permanent blindness without urgent medical intervention. Ashanti regional correspondent Doris Lonta has more in this report.
On Friday, April 4, 2025, an argument among students at the SDA Senior High School in Bantama took a tragic turn. During the dispute, Bernard Amwabeng, one of the students involved, reportedly attempted to prove that the firearm he had was functional by pulling the trigger. A stray bullet struck 16-year-old Susie Ajoapanamang in the eye. The young student was rushed to the Komfanochi Teaching Hospital, where she received emergency care. She has since been discharged, but remains in critical condition and attends regular medical reviews. Her mother, Efia Kones, Susie has been in immense pain and distress, unable to eat properly or sleep peacefully since the incident.
Well, that was me now. That one, John called him no Timmy. I know hi. More than three. I said I'm so school back. Yeah, right. Comfort now, my course cry. The patient near my near quasi that. Let me do so. Umabio.
The shooting has reignited national concern over growing indiscipline and illegal possession of weapons in schools. Many are calling for swift and decisive reforms to ensure safety on campuses. Meanwhile, the suspect, Bernard Amwabeng, remains in police custody as investigations continue. For mother of 16-year-old Susie Penama, her only hope lies in the support she will receive from the public. She is urgently appealing for financial assistance to help care for her daughter. Reporting for Channel 1 News, I'm Doris Lonta, Ashanti region.
A sub-chief and 2 other individuals have been shot after gunmen stormed the palace on the night of April 9 and opened fire on them at Poayamri, a community under the Binduri district of the Upper East region. The chief, Naba Atamburi, sustained gunshot wounds along with 2 other family members and were rushed to the Bolgatanga Regional Hospital. Tragically, one of the injured persons died on the way. The motive behind the attack remains unclear. However, residents believe it may be linked to the ongoing Boko conflict. In other news, the Inspector General of Police, Christian Tete Yohunu, has led a high-level team comprising operations investigations and intelligence officers to Boko in the Upper East region to assess the security situation on the ground. This follows a violent confrontation between some youth and police officers during which one person, Fuseini Idrisu, tragically lost his life. 5 others, including a police officer and an immigration officer, sustained gunshot wounds and are currently receiving medical treatment. The unrest was reportedly sparked by over the alleged killing of a young man by the police. In the chaos that followed, the private residence of the Boko MP was attacked by irate youth who pelted stones, shattering windows and damaging other parts of the building. The Greater Accra Regional Coordinating Council says it is in talks with the National Security Secretariat to deploy patrol teams to Ramsar sites across the region. This follows the latest demolition exercise at the Dansuman Ramsar site, in line with President Mahama's directive to pull down all structures on watercourses. Charles Ousukumi has more in the following report.
Acting on President John Mahama's directive to clear structures obstructing natural waterways, the Greater Accra Regional Security Council, led by Regional Minister Linda Okulu, commenced a demolition exercise at the Dansuman Ramsar site on April 10, 2025. As heavy machinery tore through buildings, some residents looked on helplessly, their hopes and investments crumbling alongside the unauthorized structures.
But for this side, I'm not aware of it.
I'm asking if you are aware that you have built on a Ramsar site, which is illegal.
Yeah. For that one, this thing, our authorities have come here before. Yeah.
Were you aware of this before you purchased the land?
No, really. Yeah. But they only asked us to go back at least for some feet. Yeah, but we didn't know that maybe to be serious like this. Yeah.
From who did you acquire the land?
It's the chiefs, me, Danso, and Precious.
With the rainy season approaching, Minister Linda Okulu says the exercise is necessary to avert perennial flooding and preserve lives.
Look at what is happening here. I mean, all the place, filling material all over the place. And so, per the directive, like I said, I mean, this exercise is not only being done by the region, Greater RCC, but also we have the national security presence, we have military, we have the police, we also have NADMO. And we are making sure that all those unwarranted charges should be put down. I mean, that is our priority. This exercise will continue until we make sure that, like I said, flooding within the area is minimized.
Earlier, the task force visited the Weja Ramsar site where Kitech, a private transport company, had yet to reverse illegal reclamation works.
We are working our way towards here. We need tipper trucks. We need some equipment that we'll put together and also come down here and clear all the materials.
The Regional Coordinating Council says it will now take over the process using its own equipment to ensure full compliance.
We were told that the kiters should bring their machines to work at the site, make sure that they scoop everything off. They also do the silting and dredging. But per what we've seen today, we noticed that they are not ready for us. And so we'll go back and strategize, bring our own machines to come and work there. So that is what we'll be doing.
But why not enforce the president's directive, which is for the company to bear the cost of the dredging?
Even if we should bring the machines to work, it will be at the cost of the company, trust me. That will be at the cost of the company.
To prevent further encroachment, the minister confirmed that talks are ongoing with national security to deploy regular patrols to safeguard the Ramsar site.
I asked myself, why should we sit? I mean, this building wasn't built in an hour. It wasn't built in an hour, so it took number of years and others even months to build. In the interim, we've tasked the assembly to give us a task force that will be monitoring the place 24 hours. We are also going to write to national security to also give us some men to come and help us to, protect the place until further notice.
The president gave the minister her marching orders. Well, today she's implementing these orders with this demolition exercise at the Dansuman Ramsar site. Earlier, she visited the Weja Ramsar site where a transport company, Kitech, has not been able to implement the orders of the president for them to reverse a landfilling activity that a company undertook at that Ramsar site. Well, the minister has promised that by next week she is going to mobilize equipment to come and undertake the reversal of that landfilling activity, but at a cost which will be borne by this Kitech company. For Channel 1 News, Charles Osukumi.
The Member of Parliament for 2nd D, Honourable Blay Nyameke Ama, has announced his intention to pursue legal action against members of the New Patriotic Party who have linked him to a $350 million US cocaine bust. This follows a recent operation by the National Intelligence Bureau on Tuesday, March 25, during which a tipper truck was intercepted at Pedu Junction in Cape Coast. Since the seizure, Honourable Ama's name has been mentioned in connection with the incident. Honourable Blay Nyameke Ama joins us now in studio for more on this matter. Many thanks for joining us, Honourable. How are you doing?
Good running.
Good. I like that. So in your statement, you mentioned that Lauratu Musasaka made claims against you and they linked you to this incident. Have any other individuals or parties made a similar allegation, and you intend to take legal action against them, against those involved. That's what you mentioned.
Yeah. First of all, let me extend my greetings to your viewers, and then the viewers in my constituency, which is second I will say good evening to all of them. Yes, some non-MPP members have made allegations, but those allegations were not made specifically mentioning or attributing them to me. I remember Honorable Reverend Tim Fojo said that a known PC candidate from the Western region. Then after that is when Laurel Chu became very specific by, attributing the bus to me. So, I'm not very happy about that. I'm not very happy about
Have you sued anybody?
Yes, I spoke to my lawyers on Tuesday morning, of which I gave them my instructions to file a suit against, those who made those defamatory statements against me, including the platforms that they used.
Right. And when will this suit be handed over to these individuals as well as these institutions that these allegations were made?
That is dependent on the bailiffs. It's the bailiff that will have to serve them. And then, so for my lawyers, they've done their bit by, filing the application and all that. So the rest is left with
In Laruwatu's interview, she referred to your involvement as alleged. Now, rather than stating it as a fact, does the distinction in language hold any significance?
For me, I don't see any distinction, because at the end of the day, I haven't heard anybody. She is making those statements, so she has to give us where he heard those statements, whether it's alleged or not.
Okay. And how have these allegations impacted you both personally and professionally?
In fact, on the Monday evening, when it was aired on the news anchor, I had calls. So many calls from my constituency, from abroad, my mates. I had mates in Trinidad and Tobago who are practicing as lawyers. They called me because it was all over the social media. And then it's like, what is going on? And I said, I don't know. I don't know what is going on unless you tell me. Because at that time I was driving. So, I remember one media personnel from, Pan-Africa, Tijani, who called me and said, look, I've seen this news. What do you think? I said, nothing.
Has it in any way impacted your relationship with your constituents or your parliamentary work?
Oh, honestly speaking, my constituents know that I wouldn't indulge myself in such acts. So the only thing is they want me to come out and then, debunk whatever is going on,
Okay. If Laruwatu was to issue a public apology, would that be enough for you to retract your suit that you're filing?
I believe it's too late because, honestly speaking, she could have come out the next day and done that. The platforms could have come out the next day and done that. But when they never done that, then they actually believe in whatever they were doing. I don't see that they actually regret or they have shown remorse, because if you show remorse, then you need to come out the next day and then come out and then publicly say, oh look, man, genuinely, I made a mistake. But if you don't do that, then that means that you have intentionally set out to denigrate my name.
So it's too late.
It's too late.
All right, Honorable, we'll be back to do some more, but let's do some more stories. Following the Greater Accra Regional Minister's pledge to fix 70% of streetlights in the capital within 50 days, Channel 1 News visited several major roads and communities to assess the progress made so far. Our checks reveal that key stretches, including the N1 highway connecting the Tetekwashi roundabout to La Paz, remain in complete darkness. The same situation persists along the Spintex Road, raising concerns about public safety and accountability. Fred Duho has more in the following report.
The Greater Accra Regional Minister, Linda Oklu, gave a 50-day ultimatum to ensure that about 70% of street lights in the Greater Accra region are fixed to curb the robbery and also enhance driving on our major stretches. Today is exactly the 50th day, and we are going to drive through the principal streets in Accra to ascertain if indeed she's been able to live up to her promise. Now, we are on the N1, which is also known as the George Walker Bush Highway, connecting the Accra Mall all the way to the Wager areas, precisely at the Achimota overhead, that the entire stretch is currently dark. We see the poles mounted right in the middle of this major highway, but it remains very dark, and drivers would have to rely on their headlights to be able to maneuver on this particular stretch.
Light to be a year. Oh, light to be a year. Titi said, yeah, and Namamoto is Ukrana. Eh, my, if you would have a high Swiss, yeah. Light to be a shadow and then they were what? Eh, boy.
Driving at night on these stretches, what really has been the challenge for you?
Eh, mom, in fact, Eddie. No, could I minimum. If we possess all you be our knee, and I say be our knee walk from Accra, a high.
One major stretch of interest has to do with the road connecting from the airport or the Accra Mall heading towards the Palace Mall all the way to the Spintex Road. And on this particular stretch, it is quite obvious. It is pitch dark. The street lights are there. We see the poles, we see the lamps, and but the entire stretch is totally dark. One lamp is projected onto the left side, the other is also projected onto the right side to brighten the entire stretch. We see over 100 street light poles all the way to the flower pot runabout, and all of them are not functioning. We are going to drive further to ascertain where these street lights have been installed and whether they are working or not. All the way from the Reach runabout to the frontage of Parliament House, we see that the entire stretch is also dark. The street lights are not working on this particular road. It is only in the case of the Parliament House towards the sports stadium where we have some isolated cases where street lights are standing. In terms of distance, you can see one or two working heading towards the sports stadium. We are currently around the Independence Square, and the stretch we see a number of street lights. Some are working. They are old street lights that are already working. Nothing new has been added to it. From the Independence Square to the Kwame Nkrumah Mausoleum, we noticed that a number of street lights are working. So the road is quite clear and bright. The road connecting to the Kwame Nkrumah Mausoleum is dark. This same stretch connects to a number of courts in this enclave and all the way to the old Bank of Ghana office. In the heart of Accra is one of the busiest business centers known as the Kwame Nkrumah Circle, where you can see business still alive. If you are traveling to any part of the country, no matter the time of the night, you would definitely get a vehicle that is heading towards your destination. But surprisingly, this entire area has no street light functioning, and we see or we spot a number of them, more than 20 of them actually, on the overhead on the first and second tier, there are no street lights working.
We task the roads and highways, and they are working on some of the lights. Urban roads is also working on some of the lights, as far as feeder roads and the assembly as well. So the fact that we met our target doesn't mean that we are not completing.
The fact remains that if street lights are installed across the city, it's going to enhance security as well as the driving for the motoring public. Shockingly enough, the frontage of the police training school at Tesano also without street lights. And so we ask, where are the street lights that were promised the good people of the Greater Accra region, at least 70% of it to be installed across the city? Where are those street lights? Reporting for Channel 1 News, I am Fred Duho.
The Member of Parliament for Sekondi is still in studio with us. We're shifting focus. Honourable, there are also allegations from Reverend Tim Fojo regarding 2 aircraft supposedly used to bring cocaine into the country. Now, some critics have argued that the state's attempts to arrest him are unjustified. What's your stance on this matter?
Thank you very much. For me, as a legal person, I believe he was accorded the respect of being invited to, help in investigations. And I think an invitation is different from an arrest. So, as an honorable member of parliament, he should have given back that respect to the security agencies by honoring it. And I think that would have been the end, because he made those allegations and they just invited you, come and help us in the investigation because you have the information. And this is a simple matter. So I don't see why he has to drag things like that. And because of his refusal to help, that is why I'm being dragged into it. Because if he had cooperated with the investigations, the truth would have come out by now. So for me, I believe that if persuasion fails, force must be applied. And I believe in that.
So from a legal perspective, you believe that the state can compel Reverend Tim Fojo to cooperate? Of course, because he might use parliamentary privilege, which obviously he's entitled to do it. But do not forget that we are not in parliament now. And nobody is going to parliament. So where is the privilege? Where is the immunity? You are sitting comfortably in your house. You've been invited to help in investigation. You just honor it as an honorable member. That is the name, honorable member. So honor it. In the event of his arrest, what charges could he potentially face? No, I don't think, because I believe that maybe the authorities have investigated and then find out that that is a false alarm. So they will charge him according to what the law says. But I believe that they need to do it diligently by inviting him, going through his leader, which is the minority leader. I think as an honorable member, he has to be given the chance again by approaching the minority leader and then requesting the minority leader that, look, can you please make available your member? And I think that would also help. But if that fails, force must then be applied. Okay. Finally, in your opinion, what steps should the government take to bring clarity to this whole issue? Clarity and resolution? The only resolution is Reverend Tim Fojo cooperating. And it's the only solution. So that the whole Ghana will know the truth, the whole world will know the truth. Without him cooperating, where can you find the truth? He hasn't gotten any evidence. He's just making allegations. So just bring forth the evidence, and then we move on. So I believe that he has to cooperate. And I believe the president has also given instructions that the security forces have to work with him. You understand? Yeah. The president said, work with him so that we get to the truth. So why is he then refusing to work? In the first place, he's disobeying the president, and then he's disobeying the orders, the invitation that was extended to him. All right. Member of Parliament for Sekondi, Honourable Alma, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you. You're welcome. This is still the Channel 1 newsroom. Let's take a break. Business disrupted in Kantamanto as used clothing dealers protest alleged misinformation by OR Foundation. We'll bring you the details shortly. Do stay with us.
You cannot be saved by the preaching of Jesus. It is what can wash away your sins. What is it that can actually wash the sins of the world? Is it the parables of Jesus? Is it the stories of Jesus? No, it is the blood of Jesus that was shed for us on Calvary's cross.
This Good Friday, a divine appointment awaits you. Join Evangelist Dag Heward-Mills for the Good Friday Miracle Service 2025, a time of miracles, healing, and salvation. Experience the life-changing message of the cross, the miraculous touch of God, and the greatest demonstration of love the world has ever known. Come expectant, come believing, and witness the power of Jesus Christ. Friday, April 18th, 2025, 3 p.m., Independence Square, Accra. Don't miss this historic gathering. Bring the sick, bring the broken, bring the lost, because Jesus still saves, heals, and delivers. See you there.
Went to get polytank.
Oh, and you're a fan.
Go straight.
No, I want to left, right.
That's right. Ghana na ye wono. So when you do more, and ye data. Who knows? Abe, na ye. Me pe polytank ato. Enu tin ta menu aba otu ko bia be na ba hayo. O food se bia e de enjoy ye kura.
Akuya bulambu kotoman. Emu ha.
Like they took my eyes. Came to me go to the distributor and you give the original polytank. Polytank. You get a sound?
Polytank, Papanankasa.
Life is a celebration of moments. Big and small.
The sun is scorching, I'm feeling the heat.
With Piva Drink, every moment becomes a refreshing celebration. From the beach to your home, in every corner of your world. Piva Drink adds a burst of refreshment.
Give me Piva cocktail and tangerine.
Celebrate every moment with Piva Drink. Refreshment for every occasion. Piva Drink, a taste you will love.
P for Piva.
This advert is FDA approved.
You're welcome back. Up next is Channel 1 Business with Nete Ajaho.
Channel 1 Business is brought to you by MTN and EcoBank.
Every day, people have money emergencies. Ma, I need my school fees emergency. Mommy, chop money emergency. Emergency. Catch it. I'm your rent emergency. Now, there's a new emergency number in town.
More money, challenge and enjoyment. At the top life we got.
Dial star 770 hash for all your money emergencies and chop life.
Dial star 770 hash for money emergencies and get easy and quick access to your money, loans, and other banking needs. EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank.
Hi, Nitile. How are you doing?
I'm good, I know.
I'm very well, thank you. What's happening in Kantamanto?
A section of the public thinks that Ghana is becoming a dumping ground for textile waste, and this is going to affect the traders who sell second-hand clothes. So they are protesting against that because they don't want the industry to collapse.
Well, give us the details.
Okay. Business activities in parts of the Kantamanto market came to a standstill on Thursday morning as the Ghana Used Clothing Dealers Association staged a protest against what they describe as damaging misinformation being spread by the OL Foundation about their trade. The association accused the OL Foundation of publishing exaggerated figures and negative narratives in international media portraying Ghana as a global dumping ground for textile waste. Addressing the press, the group argued that the second-hand clothing sector plays a vital role in Ghana's circular economy and warned that any attempts to deliberately undermine or collapse the industry would be strongly resisted. The market share of major oil marketing companies continue to shrink as new competitors emerge in Ghana's downstream petroleum sector. This according to the latest 2024 report from the Chamber of Oil Marketing Companies. My colleague Daniel Sakiti has more in this report.
PLC remains the largest oil marketing company by market share, but it experienced a notable decline from 16.1% in 2023 to 11.7% in 2024. Similarly, other major players like Vivo Energy saw a drop in market share from 8.3% to 7.6%. Total Energies declined from 7.2% to 6.4%, while Zen Petroleum dipped from 6.7% to 6.2%, and Puma Energy also decreased from 4.2% to 3.6%. Some OMCs, however, recorded gains during the period. Star Oil grew its market share from 8.4% to 9.7%, solidifying its position as a rising competitor. Dukes Petroleum saw growth from 2.2% to 2.7%, while Desert Oil and Summer Oil recorded impressive jumps from 0.2% to 2.6% and 0.3% to 2.5% respectively. Dr. Rivesenopon is Chief Executive Officer of the Chamber.
Our role as the Chamber is to make sure that there is fair competition among players. So we have started discussion. I think from our first half of the year report, when we saw the volumes of some of the oil marketing companies going so high, we had engagement with them.
Meanwhile, Dr. Rivesenopon is advocating for the capping and possible measures of underperforming OMCs with stronger ones to ensure a more stable and competitive industry.
We are moving around 250 oil marketing companies, making us one of the countries with the largest traders in the market.
The market remains dynamic with established players facing intense competition from emerging players. Analysts observe that established brands must adopt new strategies to recapture their lost market share. For Channel One Business, I am Daniel Sakiti.
And that's all for Channel One Business. I am Netele Nete Ajahu. Back to you, Ino.
Thank you, Netele. Let's do some more stories. The High Court in Koforidua, presided over by Justice Ade, has ruled in favor of Frank Anodompre, Member of Parliament for the Nsawam Aduadjuri constituency, by dismissing a petition challenging his election. The court upheld an application filed by the New Patriotic Party's NPP Director of Legal Affairs, Gary Nimakumafo, effectively bringing the legal contest to a close. The petition filed by a representative of the National Democratic Congress sought to overturn the parliamentary results, but the court's decision on Thursday, April 10, dismissed the case and awarded a cost of 25,000 Ghana cedis against the petitioner. The ruling cements Anodompre's status as the duly elected MP for the constituency, ending months of legal wrangling. This is still the Channel One newsroom on Channel One TV. Still to come. Ghana, Jamaica, Nigeria and Trinidad and Tobago to compete in Unity Cup 2025 at GTech Community Stadium in Brentford. We'll bring you the details shortly. Do stay with us.
Yo, Green, you no go job. You look unhappy and seem to be in pain.
I have this long-standing well at my anus and it keeps coming and going. I feel sick and so uncomfortable, bro.
Have you taken into consideration going to the hospital?
I've been to several hospitals and they keep telling me the same thing. They said it's anal fistula. I have to undergo a surgery. I'm scared I might not be able to hold my stool if I do this surgery.
Wait, have you considered seeing a proctologist?
Which one is that? What, do we have proctologists in Ghana here?
Bro, we have a lot of them. They are being trained every time.
Where can I...
Charlie. An anal fistula is an abnormal tract which connects the inner parts of the anus to the skin around the anus. As long as this tract persists, there will be a recurring boil around the anus. A proctologist is the one credited with excellent outcomes of surgery of anal fistula. Laser and ligature anal fistula surgeries are the modern methods with very low recurrence rates.
Visit Mwintaba Hospital and Coloproctology Center today or call us. Mwintaba Hospital, First Ghana Colorectal Center, in to serve a peculiar health need.
So much love in the air. What are we looking at?
Thank you guys for joining us on this unforgettable night.
Paw Patrol is on.
It's Max Verstappen in the lead. The megastar is here. Absolutely sensational.
Let's go!
Just taking a trip down memory lane.
Get unbelievable entertainment that is unbelievably easy to own. Get and stay connected to DSTV.
In a world filled with challenges, we all need guidance, hope, and a lifeline to anchor us.
This is Lifeline, and I'm your host, Fred Crunchy Mensa.
From social issues, relationship challenges, and family matters, Lifeline is here to inspire, uplift, and guide you on your journey.
Where we give you support, where we hold your hand through the valley and through the thick and thins of life.
Join Bishop Fred Crunchy Mensa.
I welcome you especially to Lifeline.
Every Tuesday and Thursday at 10 p.m. right here on Channel 1 TV. Let's walk this path together, strengthen our faith, our families, and our lives. Lifeline, because every soul deserves a guiding light. Tune in to Lifeline on Channel 1 TV and let's grow together.
You're welcome back to the Channel 1 newsroom with me, Enu Safo. Let's do some more stories. The newly confirmed mayor of the Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly, Richard Ofori-Agyemang-Boadi, says the city will undergo a major decongestion exercise starting next week. In the Bono region, Vincent Ntweagyei, the newly confirmed municipal chief executive for Sunyani East, has pledged rapid development for the municipality after securing unanimous support from assembly members.
Show of confidence, Assembly members on Thursday overwhelmingly endorsed President Mahamad's nominee for the Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly. Richard Ofori-Agyemang-Boadi secured 55 out of 56 votes cast. Ashanti Regional Minister Dr. Frank Amwakohene, who supervised the process, tasked the new mayor to focus on key areas of urban development, particularly sanitation, traffic management, and public order.
Located definitely is a key area. Ayalulu is a key area. Metro Mass is a key area that I expect him to look at. Definitely, sanitation issue in the city is also a key area. Decongestion in the city is a key area that we would expect him to work on.
Speaking to the media after his confirmation, Mr. Ofori-Agyemang-Boadi said the assembly will roll out a comprehensive decongestion exercise across the city starting next week.
I am going to ensure strict compliance with the assembly's bylaws and regulations that manages our city. So if you are selling on the pavement, adjust yourself. If you are in the middle of any dual carriage road, especially within the central business district, please take steps, get out of the place, because from Wednesday we'll be coming out, we'll get on the streets. we're going to make sure that we clear Kumasi of all the filth that we see around, and then we'll begin to take steps that for this year I would have to work within the budget that was prepared in October of last year. But in a subsequent budget, then my new programs will begin to emerge.
In the Ashanti municipality, however, some aggrieved supporters of the NDC stormed the party's office on Thursday, vandalizing property and setting some items ablaze outside the premises. The youth claimed they had received information that one Esther Jumo had been nominated for the municipal chief executive position, although there has been no official communication from the presidency. Meanwhile, in the Bono region, Vincent Intu Eje was also unanimously confirmed as the municipal chief executive for the Sunyani East municipality. He secured all 49 votes cast.
I am coming to work. Former PM, Council, I'm promising you today, I'm promising the whole Sunyani municipality today that we are coming to work and work very hard to ensure that Sunyani progresses, to ensure that Sunyani gets the needed development that we have to.
Next is Channel 1 Sports with Bernard Abeku-Ochri. Abeku, I understand this is our first Unity Cup.
Yeah.
You've never taken part.
It's an invitational tournament, and we wanted to keep our players busy somewhat around June, July. So yeah, availed this of June, July, April, May, June, July, that within that range. So it gave us the opportunity to partake in it. That's why we are here.
Well, tell us more about this tournament.
Let's get into it, shall we? And Ghana, Jamaica, Nigeria, and Trinidad and Tobago are set to compete in the Unity Cup 2025 at the GTEC Community Stadium in West London, Brentford, West London in May 2025. The Unity Cup was launched in 2002 with the iconic Nijam clash between Nigeria and Jamaica and has become a symbol of cultural celebration and unity through football. This year's tournament will feature two semi-finals. Trinidad and Tobago will face Jamaica on May 27, followed by Nigeria taking on Ghana on May 28. The event will conclude on May 31 with a double-header consisting of a third-placed playoff and the final to determine the champion. Let's now travel international, and former Manchester United captain Roy Keane has criticized modern football for what he sees as an overly pragmatic approach to games, saying it is killing the entertainment factor. Kane's comment come after a goalless Manchester derby that left fans underwhelmed, with many labeling the encounter a snooze fest. The former Manchester United midfielder believes the mentality in today's game has shifted, with teams more focused on control and structure than taking risk or producing excitement.
Their focus is more about not losing than going to win. That was definitely the case on Sunday. I know it's not the case every time they play.
Do you think that's the mentality why it's so boring?
I think there's so much at stake. If you play a game now in the Premier League, for some, even the less teams, a point is huge for them. So if you go, listen, take a point today. So their mindset would be, for some of them, is let's not be beaten.
Yeah.
But strange enough, that was a bit like United and City, which surprised me. I thought United...
Yeah. That was
but are we perceiving like City United to be this massive game because we're kind of like stuck in how they used to play, whereas now, as you say, Nottingham Forest,
I thought it was a big game because City are still trying to get the Champions League. Yeah. United are trying to get their fans back on side.
Get some pride.
Yeah, pride. Well, pride has to go. But when we played football and you were playing younger age and there was nobody at the game, you're at some stage it's your pride what kind of drives you on to put on a good performance. If there's one man and his dog watching, doesn't matter if there's 80,000, but I didn't see that on Sunday. Now, whether that's some of our fault, something we're sitting in the studio all day going, listen, we want goal action, of course, but when the two teams afterwards, it's like, you don't take a draw and go home, you're like...
Yeah, it felt very friendly afterwards, wasn't it?
Yeah. Whatever, when we played, we can only talk about our experience, but I think our mindset, and I'm going to say 99 times out of 100 was to try and win a game. There'd be certain games where you go, listen, a draw's not too bad, of course, or you have a man sent off or whatever. But your mindset had to be, Man United are home, surely they have to try and win a game of football.
Oh, that's the very latest from the world of sport, and I am Bernarda Bakeoch. You know, I guess you've been enjoying some good football because Liverpool is entertaining you.
Of course. Thank you for that. Let's do some more stories now. The Tema Development Company Limited says preliminary investigations since the new government assumed office have revealed the sale of several lands in Tema Community 24 to individuals linked to one family. This revelation comes in the wake of an internal review of TDC's operations, which uncovered widespread irregularities now warranting external scrutiny. At a press conference held at the TDC head office in Tema, the managing director, Courage Makafui Nunekpe, disclosed that existing records point to the sale of lands to persons closely associated with the Oforiatta family. These transactions reportedly occurred during the tenure of his predecessor, Alice Abnao Oforiatta, triggering the need for further investigations.
The investigations are going to do nothing to stop it. The only thing that can stop it probably will be the sector minister or the president. Apart from that, nothing is going to stop it. Nothing is going to stop it. We will continue to do the audit. We will do the land audit. We will do whatever we have to do to make sure that people must account for their stewardship. You cannot be the managing director that preside over the sales of land, sales of properties to this level and think that you should not be called to come and account. You will be called to account wherever you go. Every 10 plots in that T alone, 2 or 3 plots belong to an Oforiatta. And why?
And that's how we wrap up the Channel One newsroom. Do remember to visit our website, channel1news.com, for information on our top stories and more. Subscribe to Channel One TV on YouTube for more exclusive video content from Channel One TV. I am Inu Safo. Many thanks for watching.
What's cooking? You are very welcome to the show where we stir up delicious meals.
So who's Lali and who's Lola?
Okay, should we confuse her?
Okay.
Give me small water. Oh. A little more than you pour everything. So now if the thing doesn't cook well, who should
it will be you.
Share inspiring stories.
I was planning to move to Ghana and I was looking for tea. Whenever I come to Ghana on holiday, I was always looking for different types of tea. You were really in the UK before? Yeah, I was in the UK.
And we savor every single moment at the dining table.
I said, what's cooking? Nobody minded me. But as the judges here, in fact, all rise.
Why are you like this?
Because I'm going to judge here.
My name is Apioko Seyram Ashong Abe and I am your host. Apioko is enough for me, and here on the show, I'm ready to take you through everything that you need to know in the kitchen of kitchens.
Wow. That's beautiful. It's really lovely. Really fragrant. It's almost like perfume.
Yeah.
What is macaroni pie? If you ask any Barbadian, they'll tell you that one of their favorite dishes is macaroni pie.
So it's time. Grab your apron, sharpen your knives, and get ready to get cooking with me right here on What's Cooking.
What's Cooking is brought to you by Tasty Tom, Kivo Pepper, and Suzy Herbal Center.
hello, and welcome to yet another wonderful episode of Breakfast Daily here on Channel 1 Television. My name is Nanatufu Obuati.
My name is Philip Nilate. On a Friday, we'll let it loose. We try and set the tone down, trying to work around for the weekend. But certainly, you're going to enjoy the package we have for you here on Channel 1 TV. Breakfast Daily on this Friday.
All right, as Philip put it, it's a full package, fully detailed, but let's invite the Queen to join us. Jifakeria Kuto is here. Hello, darling. You look beautiful as always.
Hi, Philip.
Hi, Jifa.
How are you?
I'm doing good. And you?
Good to see you.
Yeah.
I'm well. I could be better, but I'm well. But I mean, I'm okay because today is a Friday.
And the weather is cozy.
Oh, my. Say that again. Tomorrow is a
beautiful
Saturday.
weather.
Weekend is here, huh?
The weekend is here, and you know I love weekends, right? Yeah.
I also love weekends.
Weekends are good.
Yeah.
I mean,
except I don't like Mondays.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not sure anybody likes
No, the
it.
thing about Mondays is even if Monday was an extension of the weekend, right? Your Tuesday will begin to feel like a Monday.
Start of the week.
Exactly.
Yeah, like
so
working day. So.
I mean, let's take it as it is. One day at a
normally,
time.
if you start on Tuesday, you know the Monday blues is
gone.
off.
So you have just
you know that you know how to focus
You're
on
only going
Tuesday.
to transfer it onto Tuesday.
Onto Tuesday.
Trust me.
Well,
I mean, it's human nature, right?
Yeah.
Right.
You're only going to push it. You're going to keep pushing it. And then what? So what? You want the whole entire week for rest?
Well, I don't know. There could be a weekend and something within the weekday.
Nah.
Oh.
You know, there was a time I asked that, why don't we have just 2 or 3 days as a weekday and then the rest of the day as a weekend? I know, don't look at me
Even
like
God
that.
himself. He
Rest-
worked 6 days and rested
rest
1 day.
7 days.
You want to rest how many days? Anyways, guys,
Anyway,
thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's always an absolute pleasure coming your way with the best breakfast in town. It's a full package, fully detailed. You're going to have your entertainment, your education, your information. Just name it, all right? It's a full platter, and it's our absolute pleasure to be able to come here and to serve you this and more. Okay? It's Friday. We're going to get into the news review real quick, bring you some highlights, headlines as well. But it rained this dawn.
Exactly.
At exactly 2:07, 7 minutes after 2, that's when the rain started. I was still up. I had some work to do, so I was still up. I was working. So when the rain started, the first, drop of rain that hit my roof, I checked the time.
Oh, wow.
And I noticed that it was 2:07. Instantly, my heart went out to the street children, to the homeless, to the less privileged, to the underprivileged. And I was like, Father, show yourself strong. Intervene in their situations.
Because we don't want to experience any flood again.
Exactly.
Especially when now government is
too.
battling with sucking people from the Ramsar. Like this morning, we understand the
They're
Greater
going to
Accra
Tama
regional
and the Sakumo.
minister is going to take some action this morning as well.
I think my worry or my pain more has to do with those sleeping under the bridges at Circle, those sleeping in front of people's shops. When it rains at dawn like that, what do they do? And you see, that's why sometimes we call on you guys to help us to be able to be a blessing unto others. And that's one thing we're preparing to do, okay? This Easter, as has become traditional of us, we're going to visit some orphanages in the country, and we want to be a blessing to them. We ask that you join us so that we can be able to do this together. We want to feed, maintain, and support, and we've put together what we call the Easter Orphan Project. We do it every year, okay? We'd like for you to join us. Please support us, help us to be able to put a smile on the face of an orphan out there. If you want to support us via Momo, the number is 0550-900-006. 0550-900-006. If your donation is in kind, you can bring bags of rice, cartons of milk, water, sugar, Milo, just name it, clothes, okay? But these clothes should be, appreciable enough. And let's help books, just stationery, so that we can be able to put smiles on the faces of these little ones. If you want to do a donation in kind, please bring it to City FM office at Adabraka, just behind the Adabraka police station, okay? And then we'll acknowledge you appropriately. If you listen to This Is Your Day on 97.3 City FM, you hear that some people have begun donating already, and we're saying thank you to them on air. So please, let us hear from you. Send us something. so that together we can be able to help the orphans out there.
Right. Now, one thing I like about the Easter Orphan Project is the fact that sometimes when you look at your life or when you try to reminisce on how far God has brought you, looking at where you started from and where you are currently in life, sometimes you don't appreciate it enough.
Exactly.
You're always wanting more. You're like, what can I do? When can I do this? What do I do to get this and that and that? But you forget that, look, there's somebody somewhere whose situation is even worse than yours. And when you hear people's stories, then you sit down and say, thank you, Jesus, because indeed your story is better than someone's. So this is just a call to say thank you, God. That's your way of, showing appreciation to God for whatever He has done to in your life, really. And then just lend a hand and then donate something small. It could be anything at all, as Nana rightly said. So send in your widow's mite, and then let's put smiles on the children's faces.
So as you are enjoying at home, eating the chicken, the rice, wearing the good clothing, sitting in the AC vehicle, putting on good perfumes and all that, you may want to think about that unprivileged individual in the society. And that is what Channel 1 TV and City FM, we are hoping to go out there to at least deal with these people, give them a shoulder to put their heads on, and also put smiles on their faces. And this is happening on Easter Monday. So you shouldn't hesitate to join us here on Channel 1 TV at Tesano, and also City FM at Adabraka, where you can donate in cash, in kind, and also with items as well.
True. We beg of you to expedite the donations, okay? Because Easter Monday is just around the corner. It's on the 21st of April. Forgive us for not coming to press early with this, but we beg of you, if it is within your resources and your ability and your reach to support us, please do, and let's be fast about it. We beg you, so that we can properly coordinate the entire project, and then we can all go there together on Monday, the 21st of April 2025, to support these orphanages. Once again, the mobile money number is 0550-900-006, or you can bring your donations to the City FM office at Adabraka, just behind the Adabraka police station. And we will be grateful. The kids will be grateful. Those who take care of the kids will be grateful, and you shall be duly acknowledged. I don't know if you're a teacher, but as they say about teachers, your reward will be in. All right. Thank you so much in advance, and we're hoping to hear from you and to see you support us do this together. All right. So while we are still in the month of April, we're praying for ourselves, for our country, for our businesses, our families, our children, you name it. The quest is to uplift individuals, to give hope to the hopeless, and of course to renew and restore, maintain and sustain the faith in our Maker God. Okay, all this is a prelude to the major one, which happens on 1st May. That's the family consecration service. So we call this the Seasons of Prayer. It happens every weekday in the month of April, from the 1st to the 30th of April 2025.
Right, and the Seasons of Prayer, Nana, we have the Midnight Cry, which happens between 12 a.m. and 1 a.m. And also this is your day between 4 a.m. and 6 a.m. That's if you happen to miss the Midnight Cry. And also we have the Prayer Encounter that's happening at between 12 p.m. at noon to 1 p.m. And that's going to be happening on the City FM Facebook Live. So, really, if you miss the midnight or the dawn one, you have another opportunity to join in the afternoon. That's mostly during lunchtime in the office. So you can just plug in your earpiece or your earbuds and then just pray silently, or just excuse yourself to go to the washroom, or wherever convenient for you to join within this prayer season. Please do that, because it's very important that sometimes we submit ourselves and then put everything we are doing as a people into the hands of God, for Him to lead us and then show us the way. And of course, we'll crown it all in the month of May with a family consecration.
Yep, let's have on May 1, 2025. Families gather and pray together as a unit. Remember, the family that prays together
always stays together.
All right. Let's get into our business of today. Bring you some of the headlines that have made it to the front pages of the various dailies, and then we can go onto the web portals online and bring you some news headlines as well. I'll start off with the front page of the Ghanaian Times newspaper. It says circular economy project gets a boost. SMEs allocated $4.35 million for sustainable plastic waste management. Comes with a picture of Ibrahim Murtala Mohammed. Government explores a cheaper power option for Valco. Okay, this is Amako Fibua speaking there. No more NHIS statutory payments delays. That's attributed to a deputy finance minister. RegSec pulls down illegal structures at Wager and Dansoman Ramsar site. RegSec pulls down illegal structures at Wager, Dansoman Ramsar site. If you jump to the back page, it says Gold Coast Refinery offers government 15% carried interest. Gold Coast Refinery offers government 15% carried interest. And this one says enforce textile tax stamp registration laws, ICU. That's the Industrial and Commercial Workers Union speaking there. That's the front page of the Ghanaian Times. Let me take you to the Chronicle. The Chronicle says Educhum to contest NPP presidential primary. This is a question being asked by the paper. Educhum to contest NPP presidential primary donates 100,000 Ghana cedis, 200 bags of cement to rebuild Edum market. Okay. Journalist in court over alleged 1.7 million Ghana cedis extortion charge. Oh boy. Journalist in court over alleged 1.7 million Ghana cedis extortion charge. Hey. Okay, we'll find out which journalist this is. Health benefits of guava fruit and leaves. Okay, that's some health information for you on the front page of the Chronicle. And then you have King Zuba, confirmed mayor of Kumasi. King Zuba, confirmed mayor of Kumasi. His actual name is Richard Ofori Ajimai Boadi. I think he served as Obuasi MCE at a point, and now he's been confirmed the mayor of Kumasi. Yeah, that Chronicle is reporting on that. Now, the new publisher this morning says, Arnaud Dompre wins court case challenging his electoral victory. And then you have NDC Burns party office in Mampong. This is Asante Mampong. NDC Burns party office in Mampong. We're told that calm has been restored. Police has been deployed to the area. And so the place is quiet and calm now. This chaos, we understand, is attributed to the president's nomination for MMDC in the area. And some youth groups of the party are not happy with their nomination. They would have preferred a different person. And so they went on rampage and destroyed some property belonging to the party in the constituency. All right. Dr. Abdul Hamid, the Herald says, several Oforiatta family members named in TDC land grab. Several Oforiatta family members named in TDC land grab. Interesting times. Second D MP files a 10 million Ghana CD lawsuit over 350 million US dollar cocaine link, but spares John and team for Joe. Second DMP files 10 million Ghana cedi lawsuit over 350 million US dollar cocaine link, but spares John and team Fojo. Minority leader pleaded with NIB to suspend in team Fojo's arrest. Vanderpoy reviews. That's the former member of parliament for Dodo, former local government minister, former sports minister. He was here yesterday, spoke on the news review segment on Breakfast Daily, and he did mention that the attempted arrest of the Asin South MP in his home by national security operatives was called off because the minority leader, Alexander Apenyo-Markin, pleaded that he would personally present the MP to the security operatives at 10 a.m. That's yesterday. We'll be getting some details to that to find out if indeed the MP did show up at the offices of the security agency. and what transpired thereafter. But other stories on the front page also say, Ayabuafo refutes cash for contract claim in GBC boss reappointment. Says nationwide tour was legitimate governance exercise. Ayabuafo refutes cash for contract claim in GBC boss's reappointment. Says nationwide tour was legitimate governance exercise. Then there's a yet to be reported on story that says coming up, Kevin Ochery arrested. Coming up, Kevin Ochery arrested. That's the front page of the Herald newspaper. I'll jump to the news center. The front page of the news center says TUC vows to resist ECG privatization. TUC vows to resist ECG privatization. Bawumia decries security intimidation and harassment. We understand that Dr. Bawumia visited the Reverend John Ntimfodjo after that episode with the security operatives, and this is what the news center is reporting from that incident. It says Bawumia decries security intimidation and harassment. MTN unveils year-long strategy to transform SMEs, also here on the front page. BOG, CEOs of banks brainstorm over 100 basis points hike in policy rates. That's on the economic front. Says BOG, CEOs of banks brainstorm over 100 basis points hike in policy rates. NDC doubles down on pledge to quickly end double track. NDC doubles down on pledge to quickly end double track. The minister has been meeting the Conference of Heads of Assisted Second Cycle Schools, and this is one of the issues that came up, the double track system under the free SHS program. Initially, it was the plan was to quickly end the double track system and, of course, phase it back into a single track where we'll have all students going to school at and around the same time. But now we're being told by the Minister in charge of Education, Haruna Idrisu, that this phasing out is expected to end by 2027 and not as quickly as initially anticipated. We'll be following this keenly to bring you some details regarding this same matter. All right, that's it for the front page of the news center. What's the custodian saying this morning? Custodian says, stop using security agents to harass opponents. Bawumia minority tell Mahama. Speaker Bagman petitioned. Okay, all this is in attribution to the Reverend Ntimfodjo and the suspicious flight saga and allegations of money laundering and drug trafficking. Okay, High Court dismisses election petition against Ano Dompre. High Court dismisses election petition against Ano Dompre. Reality has exposed NDC on economy. This is attributed to Gideon Buako. CDM calls for unified response to Trump's 10% tariff on Ghanaian exports. That's the front page of the custodian. Let's get into the Daily Guide. Front page of the Daily Guide newspaper. Educhum gives Doomfire victims 100,000 Ghana cedis and bags of cement. Educhum gives Doomfire victims 100,000 Ghana cedis, bags of cement. Ayariga police commanders' houses set ablaze in Boko. Quite disturbing. The Member of Parliament has issued a statement condemning the violence in the area, the clash between the police and some youth, and called for calm and assures of his confidence in the mediation efforts being led by the Santehene Otumfosei II. All right, let's look at other stories on the front page of the Daily Guide. This one says, rein in your security operatives. Bawumia tells Mahama. This will follow the visit to Reverend Ntimfodjo during his episode or after his episode with the security operatives. And then CJ removal petitions pop up. CJ removal petitions pop up. This should be an interesting read. It looks as though the Daily Guide will be giving us some details regarding the petition or the 3 petitions to have the Chief Justice removed. We know that constitutional process is currently underway, where the President, upon consultation with the Council of State, will look into these petitions, establish a prima facie case against the CJ, and then a committee will be set to establish same and to prosecute same. The CJ had requested the petition to be able to respond. Subsequently, she has responded, and so we are waiting to see what will happen. Another leg of it is that we know that the Otafu Member of Parliament, Vincent Akowasafua, was seeking an injunction at the Supreme Court to stop the president from proceeding with this procedure. The Supreme Court has adjourned this injunction application case indefinitely. All right, so we'll be following up on that as well to bring you some details. The Informer newspaper this morning has very heavy on encroachment, and it says Ramsar site encroachment, Chinese company defies president's order. Ramsar site encroachment, Chinese company defies president's order. Yesterday, the Greater Accra Regional Minister Linda Oklu led the Regional Security Council and some security operatives to the various sites, including Dansoman and the Wager area, where the president had ordered that some demolition or some clearing of the area be done to allow free flow of water even as we anticipate the onset of the rains. And it came out that when they visited the site yesterday, the place had not yet been cleared, in clear defiance of the president's order. And that's what the Informer newspaper is reporting this morning. Now, questionable cocaine aircraft saga. Minority bare teeth at government over alleged intimidation. We are already on a path to failure. Arocha Ghana criticizes Galamsey fight. Okada riders warn Mahama over age restriction. And then you have Bando MCE promises action. Okay, you can get the details here in the Informer newspaper. The Ghanaian publisher this morning says Baumia slams Mahama over NIB raids. Baumia slams Mahama over NIB raids. Court upholds Anodom Press victory. 25,000 Ghana cedi cost awarded against a petitioner. Reasons petitioners want the CJ removed. Okay, so details also there in the Ghanaian publisher. The Inquisitor says frivolous cocaine and money laundering claims. GACL shames Osofumaku. Oh, Charlie. We've seen some paper call him Osofu Thunder. Another paper is calling him Osofumaku, and they've put his picture there. Jeez. Frivolous cocaine and money laundering claims. GACL shames Osofumaku. Finance Ministry sets desk to enforce PFM Act. Finance Ministry sets desk to enforce PFM Act. Government to pilot 1 million coders program on April 16. Government to pilot 1 million coders program on April 16. Bogatanga Airport construction site inspected. Bogatanga Airport construction site inspected. It comes with a picture of the managing director of the GACL, that's the Ghana Airports Company Limited, Ivona Nana Efriye. Let me wrap it up with the Catholic Standard, one of the oldest newspapers in the country, in the world at least. The world's oldest Catholic bishop celebrates 103 years. That's what it's leading with. Then you have Bishop Etuahene here speaking, and he says, put measures in place to curtail drug abuse. Put measures in place to curtail drug abuse. We all know that the disturbing phenomenon regarding opioid consumption and its abuse and what it is doing to the youth of this country. And you have Bishop Etuahene, the Bishop of Goso, speaking here, and he says put measures in place to curtail drug abuse. Now, prison feeding grant of 1 cedi 80 pesos daily, an affront to human rights. Prison feeding grant of 1 cedi 80 pesos daily, an affront to human rights. Law against misinformation, disinformation to be enacted in Ghana. There's an editorial that says the Catholic Church in Ghana extensively present but not visible enough. Quite an interesting one. Catholic University launches fund for financial sustainability. That's the front page of the Catholic Standard newspaper. Let me take you online real quick. Let's check out some of the stories on channel1news.com. Okay, Channel 1 is leading with the ECG story, and it says ECG's billing system collapsed under customer load. This is attributed to the former managing director of the Electricity Company of Ghana. ECG's billing system collapsed under customer load. former MD speaking there. Ayariga, attacks won't distract me from pursuing peace in Boko. Attacks won't distract me from pursuing peace in Boko. This is the Member of Parliament for the area and the leader of government business in Parliament speaking there, Mahama Ayariga. Suspicious flights in Team Forge's cooperation would have uncovered the truth. This is attributed to the Member of Parliament for 2nd D. He was on the Channel 1 newsroom last night speaking with Eno Safo. That's Blay Nyameke Ama there, saying that in Team Forge's cooperation would have uncovered truth. We are against ECG privatization. That's the Trades Union Congress speaking. We are against ECG privatization. Unresolved murders in Ashanti region raise public safety and justice concerns. Unresolved murders in Ashanti region raise public safety and justice concerns. Anodompre, NDC rejects court ruling, vows to appeal. We know that the High Court in Kofodia yesterday upheld the MP's victory in the 2024 elections and even awarded some 25,000 Ghana cedis cost against the petitioners. All right, let's check out Galamsey. And this one says, Galamsey fight not getting any better. It's attributed to Darrell Bosu of Arocha, Ghana. Galamsey fight not getting any better. Darrell Bosu speaking there. Western Regional Minister leads Galamsey soup to arrest 3. Western Regional Minister leads Galamsey soup to arrest 3. 2nd D MP sues Jospong Group of companies and others over $350 million cocaine allegation. 2nd D MP sues Jospong Group of companies and others over $350 million cocaine allegation. In Asante Mampong, angry NDC youth burned party property over MCE nomination. Then you have Kantamanto traders strike over OR Foundation's alleged attack on their trade. Kantamanto traders strike over OR Foundation's alleged attack on their trade. Then you have the Duchum story here that says Duchum donates 100,000 Ghana cedis, 500 bags of cement to Adum fire victims. Will make Ghana ungovernable if Team Fojo is arrested. That's Salam Mustafa, the NPP's youth organizer, speaking. I don't know how you intend to make the country ungovernable, and I don't know in what capacity you will be doing that. But the laws of the country are there, so let's see you make an attempt, and let's see how the law applies to such matters. We don't know what your strategy for making the country ungovernable will be, but we'll see what the law and its response to same will also be. All right, let me take you to citynewsroom.com. That says Boko Ayariga condemns violence, backs Otumfuo's peace efforts. In Boko, Ayariga condemns violence and backs Otumfuo's peace efforts. We know that there was an attempt to burn down his house in Boko, and then there was also an attempt to burn down the police commander's residence as well. The education minister has been speaking, and he says, restore discipline in senior high schools. Education minister to Ghana Education Service. TUC to government, punish those behind ECG container scandal. And then when you go on the website, there are a number of stories there that you can get details on. All righty. This morning, we understand that the Greater Accra Regional Minister is leading a team of security operatives and the Regional Security Council, the RECSEC, to Tema, where the Sakumo Ramsar sites and the Tema Ramsar sites to make some demolition of structures on waterways and, of course, structures impeding the path of the water, and, of course, illegally situated structures on the Ramsar site. We'll be bringing you details. Our cameras will be there, and so we'll bring you details of that exercise. Hopefully, as the rains come, the place will be rid of some of these structures, and then we do not experience the type of flooding that we have been experiencing over the years. This is Breakfast Daily here on Channel 1 Television. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
In a fast-growing urban environment like Accra, safety is as important as the air that we breathe. Hear the real stories from those who now feel safe like never before with Response 1.
One night, I heard the glass shattering. Armed robbers had broken in. Before I could react, the alarm blared and the lights flashed, and Response 1 was already on their way. Within minutes, the security was at my door and the armed robbers had fled. I never want to be that scared again. And now I know with Response 1, I never will.
Don't wait for tragedy to strike. Protect your home with Response 1's monitored alarm system and our theft protection guarantee. Immediate response, real protection. Response 1, stay connected, stay protected.
Poverty makes you do what you otherwise would not do. Wealth makes you live the way you wish to live. But revenge cancels the lines between poverty and riches.
It's either you're saying something progressive, or I'll just tell your wife that I'm carrying your child.
Where is my father? Now that he's coming closer to the community, I just make you know.
My people forget your own plans, so I go figure my own.
Welcome back from that break. You are still live on Breakfast Daily right here on Channel 1 Television, and this morning is our Friday edition. If you want to connect with us, you can do so by joining our socials at Channel 1 TVGH. Leave your thoughts and your comments in the comment section down below. We'd love to engage with you in the comment section. Alternatively, you can send us a WhatsApp message on the WhatsApp number 02044470033. We'll be having some interesting conversations right here this morning on the show. We'll be coming to a community near you, so you may want to engage with us so that when the time is right and we are in your community, get the chance to also share your thoughts with us. This morning we are taking you to the Opa Basic School, which is situated in Sapeman, where a school building's roof has been taken off due to a rainstorm. There's a report filed by our colleague Elizabeth Kabuki Okansi. Let's take a look at the report, and when we come back, we'll get speaking to the right authorities to find answers to this.
Strong winds and heavy rains lasting less than 30 minutes tore off the roof of Opa MA Basic School 1, leaving furniture and teaching materials exposed to the elements. The incident, which occurred around 6 p.m., has significantly disrupted teaching and learning. With their classroom rendered unusable, KG pupils have been relocated to the staff common room. When the Channel 1 news team visited the school, young men were seen clearing fallen trees that had damaged part of the building. Frustrated parents voiced their concerns, explaining how their children being out of school is affecting their daily routines. They called on city authorities to step in and restore the school.
From Abona, it is a dreamy ebu kum. Yet, buy no, yen, Surunin, just any man say school dino ye. Nkonye bubu ebi ato we no so na ekoye te say anopanka anka nyekura anka amanfo mabe wuwu na nso nyame ancha de ankoba na nopa etwen mankra no kofie ansa na start nkra no tifie se so mu nsuya de
su ache nti nkroda wo mu bebre nti ye pa bancho no boaye yentumi je omu kwa ejuma ye ni omu na etifie nti ye pa bancho Rombe buaye na nkwada no start omu beye bibi omu bosu kakra po na nkwada no etumi start kakra yesu ye benya kwan akopesika kakra bifie
na ni ntem mehwe mufra ne titifie wonya hwe sisi wo fie keke ti yesra won na bibia nkoso wano mayen ntem wonhwe maboso mayen na enya mufra nso nya won asomhwe won ku school mayen.
Meanwhile, concerns have emerged about the structural integrity of newly constructed school buildings. The use of substandard materials have raised questions about the ability to withstand future storms. The Assembly member for the Sappeman electoral area acknowledged that the affected school block was built using community effort and internally generated funds. He admitted that financial constraints have delayed efforts to construct a more resilient structure.
The building was put up by the school in collaboration with the community. So it's an internally generated fund project. So if you look closely at the building, we, instead of using iron rods, because of lack of funds, we were forced to use pipes to pick up or raise the structure. And when you look at the blocks itself, the structure has not even been plastered. That should show you that due to lack of funds, we are unable to put up an edifice that is fitting for our kindergarten students.
He further outlined ongoing measures to secure funding for major repairs, stressing the urgency of the situation.
Where they are is woefully uncomfortable. The teachers are not able to use the materials to give them the quality education we need. So we are appealing to the authorities that be. The government should quickly turn a good eye and look at us. And if possible, we are appealing for a new structure. But if we don't get a new structure, we can still get a more reinforced structure so that our kindergarten children don't have any untoward situation in the future.
I hear the kids have been allocated to the staff common room for now, but I've asked the assembly member to get some masons and carpenters to get us an estimate so that latest by Monday we can get something to start working on the building. So hopefully by end of month latest we are sure to have a roof back on that building for the kids to have a place to study.
This is what is left after strong winds on Monday evening at Opa MA Basic School 1. The storm blew off the roof, leaving students and teachers without classrooms. Parents and residents are asking authorities for help. Reporting for Channel 1 News, I am Elizabeth Kabuki Okante.
Right, so that was a report filed by our colleague Elizabeth Kabuki Okante on the plight of the students in Opa Basic School 1. Nana and Philip, I don't know what you guys think about this, but very soon we'll be going onto the phone lines to speak to the assembly member, if we have him, and possibly the member of parliament for the area.
We had a similar situation
from
St. Joseph RC Basic School, and the children were in a dilapidated makeshift structure after a same collapse of a 6-classroom building they were putting up, and just part of it fell off or collapsed. Now the authorities didn't move there, and the situation has been like that for a very long time. We understand that it's a school that is in the heart of Tamale. I'm making reference, then we come to this one. It's in the heart of Tamale. Now we're trickling down to this school. It's in the heart of Amasaman.
Right.
And if you are looking at it from constituency-wise, it's Amasaman constituency. Municipality-wise, it's Gan West municipality. When you are moving from Isawam, from the eastern region, from Kumasi to Accra, the very first community you meet, which is in Accra, is Amasaman.
Okay.
And this situation, we understand, happened some 2 weeks or 3 weeks ago.
Right.
And as we speak now, it's still the same. But we have the assembly member for the Sappeman electoral area on our lines as at now. We would engage him. Elom Avemega. Hello, Honorable. Good morning.
Good morning, my brother.
I trust you are doing well.
By the grace of God.
How are the people of Sappeman doing?
The people of Sappeman, by the grace of God, they are all doing very well.
I don't think they are doing so well with the issue of the Opa Basic School. What is the situation currently with the Opa Basic School?
Yeah, rightly so. With our school at Opa, we are actually not doing well. You know, a few weeks ago, about 3 weeks ago, we had a rainstorm that took our roof of our kindergarten block at the Opa school, they ripped it off and broke down some of our trees. And as I speak to you now, we have been able to cut down the trees and clear the broken down trees. But unfortunately, our KG block is still left unattended to.
Wow. So if the KG block is left unattended to, and we know that the rains are still falling or they are still in, what is the alternative for these children?
Yes. So as I speak to you, yesterday I met with the coordinating director and the engineer at the municipal assembly, and I reminded them about the plight of our dear KG students and what can be done. Apparently, the structure was a community project, and so per the assessment of the municipal engineer, it is not strong enough for roofing to go on it. So currently, as I speak to you, our KG students are perching in the staff common room of the teachers, where everything is kept there. That same place is used as a storage for broken down desks, all kinds of metals that are worn out, they are all kept there. And that is what for me has become my fear.
Honorable, thank you for your time. If you met with the coordinating director or the municipal engineer and he says the building is not strong enough for roofing, what plans does he have to restore the building and of course have the KG students back in their own classroom instead of sharing the staff common room?
Yes. So what we agreed was that we are going to look into the mid-year review budget. When it's mid-year, we'll review the budget and then we can fix this project into it.
But Honorable, in the interim, since you're going to be looking at the mid-year review budget, in the interim, what are the plans for the students? Are they still going to be sharing the staff common room until the budget is reviewed?
Yes, for now, that is the unfortunate thing that we have to do interim. But the other time also, there is another project, PTA in the school, that also has some structural defects. However, that one is a bit better than the one that we currently are speaking about. So I still engaged the engineer and he brought some of his officers to assess it. And what they told me was that we can roof that one and then our KG students can start using that one. So as it stands now, I have started engaging some companies to plead for assistance. If we can get roofing for that, it's a 3-unit block. If we are able to roof it, then we can move our KG students down there. I'm very happy. I'm looking at the videos now. As it stands now, our KG students don't have learning materials because of where they find themselves, and that is very unfortunate because at that stage they use a lot of the teaching and learning materials to learn, and so not having it in the staff common room makes their learning a little bit challenging for us.
But Honorable, you mentioned that the alternative structure has structural defects. Is that not going to endanger the lives of these little ones, looking at the fact that you want to move them inside in the interim? Why won't you rather just find help to fix it or make it good so that when they are inside, you are all at peace?
Yes, so that one was supposed to be a story building, a 6-unit, 3 down, 3 up. So the structural defect came when the structure was flowed at the first floor. That is where we had the structural defect at the top. So the engineers advised that we could take off the iron rod at the top and then we roof it.
But how many children are we talking of here when it comes to the KG class? How many children are we talking of?
We are talking close to 40 children because it's the KG1 and the KG2 put together.
Has this happened before, or this is the first time such an incident is happening in the school?
This is the first time. Opa, it's a very old school, and we have had challenges with infrastructure for our students. And so you will realize that most of the time it is the community that will come together and do something. But as I speak now, we are even running shifts in the primary school. So that will tell you the difficulty we have with infrastructure in that school. Meanwhile, that school has produced a lot of very brilliant students who have gone far and they have made it to the very good senior high schools in our country.
So we are. You said, is it a basic school? It starts from, say, crèche to JHS.
It actually starts from kindergarten to JHS, and there are two schools. But because of the numbers, we are forced to run at the primary section, which is a little bit challenging for us.
From what you said you've been engaging. We understand. Have we gotten, or have you seen any of your authorities, say the district's education director or from the municipality, come to see the situation for themselves at the school?
Yes, the education director came to have a look at the problem we have there, and so he invited me and I went over to his office. We met, we deliberated, we looked at suggestive ways by which we can curb the situation. It was part of the reason why I went back to the assembly to plead for an intervention to quickly come. Unfortunately, the information, the engineer said there are no pillars that were used. They only used pipes to construct the structure, and so it will be very difficult for the assembly to come in and roof it when they know that there is a big problem with the whole entire structure.
Does it? I mean, from what you're saying, it suggests to me that means eventually this structure would have to be pulled down so that a proper one is raised again.
Exactly so. But my challenge has to do with the time, because these are very little ones that can easily get demotivated if they don't get a very good place to have their studies, and they don't get a place of their own when there are counter movements here and there in their classroom. They get quickly
distracted,
swayed away in thought. So that is where my challenge is, that in the interim, if government can come in to assist us, especially for the fact that it is our kindergarten children.
Yeah.
It will be very good for the community and the entire electoral area.
And I totally agree with you. I mean, we know that the learning atmosphere for kids at kindergarten will not be the same, even for those in nursery and in the primary level. But you mentioned that this is a community project, this particular structure. Have you had any community engagement ever since the incident happened?
Yes, when the incident happened, the chief of the community, Niopa Okwansro, the first, has been there with his elders. We have spoken, we have looked at it. He actually supported by giving us the machine that cut down the trees that fell, and we have engaged further. But as it stands now, it all comes down to looking at an entirely new structure. And in that vein, the weight of the community is not able to currently push up a new structure. And that is why we will so fall on government. We will so plead with government that we should come and look at OPA and see how best things can unfold. Apparently, I've also, the member of parliament has also been here to look at the situation, and he also made his inputs and suggestions. And so we are still discussing and looking at the best way that we can still help. And so I've spoken to him that an entirely new structure will help us. So I pleaded that if he goes to parliament, he should push. If there is a possibility of getting some emergency funds for this project, it would suffice.
Honorable, while we wait for government to come and help salvage the situation, we know how these things can take, or the processes these things can go through to acquire funds for such projects. Has there been any engagement with private organizations or partners, or even the Parent-Teacher Association of the school, to come up with some funds to at least start the project?
Yes, I have engaged the PTA chairman and some of the executives. I've also spoken with the head teacher and some of the key stakeholders, like I mentioned, the chief and some opinion leaders in the community. We have all sat down to look at it. Initially, we